Hello. Hello guys, this is CA Sri Mrudula Gundati. I'm going to deal with indirect tax CA intermediate at present. Today's our topic is going to be supply under GST. What is GST? We all know it is goods and services tax. Do we deal with GST in our day-to-day lives? Yeah, in our day-to-day activities, whether we order from Swiggy, Zomato, Flipkart, Amazon, or when we buy groceries, when we buy clothes, anywhere, everywhere, from every nook and every corner, we'll be dealing with GST in our day-to-day activities. Try checking out what is the rate that they charge for the things that we buy, and whether it is good or services, whether it is composite or mixed supply, try identify them. You'll be developing habit of what we say involving GST in our day-to-day activities, day-to-day lives. Okay? Yeah, now let's get you into our subject. First, let's get into this GST definition. What is this GST definition? Tax charged on supply of goods or services or both made or agreed to be made. So we are mainly dealing with three major terms here. First, the tax rate that is being charged on supply of goods or services or both. But let's see what is this good. Yes, Section 2 Clause 52 of CGST Act 2017 deals with this goods definition. What is this? Every kind of movable property. What is movable? Which is immovable. Immovable means the land, building, or the big trees that are attached to land. Those are all immovable. Then what is movable? The pen that I am holding, the tab I am using, the books, the camera before me, or the books that you are holding, the pen, the motor vehicle that you are using, everything are movable goods. So goods includes, what is this? Every kind of movable property other than money. What is money? We order pizza, we buy chocolates, we buy biscuits with this so-called money, right? It is nothing but currency. Whether it may be our Indian rupees, Indian currency, or some US dollars, UK euros and all. So either it is maybe Indian currency or foreign currency. It also includes all money instruments which are recognized by RBI. Some commercial papers or deposits which are recognized by RBI. But it excludes the currency which has numismatic value. What is this? Nothing but old coins. See, some of us may have this habit of preserving these old coins and notes. They treasure it basically. Why? Because they do have some value. But can we legally transact it now in our day-to-day activities? Can we? No, we can't give these old coins and purchase books, iPad and all, right? So they do have some value. What this money definition excludes this currency which has numismatic value, nothing but old coins. If money definition excludes old coins and goods definition excludes money, so basically exclusion of exclusion becomes inclusive. So these old coins are nothing but goods as per our GST, right? Next, it also excludes securities. We know securities, shares, debentures and etc. What are these securities? You know what? Along with this GST income tax, there is also one more tax being charged. That is securities transaction tax, which will be taxed on securities. If we are going to buy or sell securities, this STT will be charged upon. When there is already a tax called STT, why do we have to again charge GST? So they excluded the securities from goods, so that GST will not be charged on securities as well. Now come on, goods, every kind of movable properties other than money, securities, but includes actionable claims. What is actionable claim? See, actionable claim. First, I'll give you some examples. Suppose I sold you some books. I have my own book, so I'm selling you that book, some around 1,000 rupees. What will I do? I have to return, you have to give me back my 1,000 rupees so that I'll give you book, right? I have claim of those 1,000 rupees from you, right? So next example, let's take like suppose I have become chartered accountant. I'm buying a car. I ordered car from some prestigious company and all, showroom. What they do, they don't deliver immediately, they'll take like 10-15 days to deliver. So initially they'll take some deposit from me. If they don't deliver and they still take deposit, what do I have? I'll have claim for receiving car or else receiving money. Suppose C, claim to unsecured debt and claim to beneficial interest in a movable property, which can be proved in court of law. Suppose if you don't give me my 1,000 rupees now, or if the showroom people don't give me car or my initial deposit, what do? I can claim my money and prove in court of my law. That is actionable claim, where the claim which can be actioned and proved in law, on court of law. Right? This is. For example, you see horse racing, betting, lottery. You can take examples of lottery also. Suppose there is some lottery, I want 1 crore of cash. If this lottery people are not giving now, I can go to court and prove and get back my 1 crore rupees cash. Right? See, online money, gaming, gambling, etc. See, horse racing, betting, lottery, gambling, we know. Then what is this online money gaming? Anyone? Think? Say, okay, or else tell me the difference between online money gaming and online gaming. See, I'll tell you. What is this online gaming means? Usually you play this Free Fire, and before many years like this GTA Vice City, you give some money and what do you get in return? Nothing. Do you get? Just we play that game, that's it. But in online money gaming now, what you do is exactly, you give money so that you can get more money. Just that there's some rummy circles and some other this play cards and all, whatever they play. That is online money. It includes giving money and getting back money also. Okay, this is actionable claim. Now, what's goods definition? One more is growing crops, grass and things attached to forming part of land, which can be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. What is this? See, we have some this like seasonable crops, paddy, wheat, bajra, jowar, like 6 months, 1 year. They'll be grown, they will be harvested, and they'll be cut down and will be supplied. Are they part of land, forming part of land permanently? No, they'll be cut down. They'll be supplied to someone else. So they are also considered as goods. Okay, let's summarize it. What do you mean by good under GST? Every kind of movable property other than money, securities, but includes actionable claims, growing crops, grass and other things which are attached and forming part of land, which can be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. Is it clear? So goods is done. Now second one is services. Section 2, clause 102 of CGST Act deals with CGST Act 2017 deals with services. What is this? Anything other than goods, money, securities. What is this? In goods we excluded money and securities. Here in services what are we excluding? 3 things. Goods, money, securities. What do we include? Activities related to use of money, for which separate consideration is charged. Suppose see, I lend you some 1 lakh. Will I accept if you give only 1 lakh to me? No, right? I need my interest back, some 10% or 20% of interest. So what I am doing? This is the activity which I am using money, which I am giving it to you, you are using, in return you are giving back me interest of some 10,000 or 20,000. So this 10-20,000 is separate consideration which I charged. So this will be a service and will be GST will be charged upon it. Okay, next. Conversion by cash or by any other mode from one form currency denomination to another form currency and denomination, for which separate consideration is charged. Suppose my sister is in some US. I had to send her some 5 lakhs. I'll go to bank, I'll give my Indian rupees of 5 lakhs and ask to convert into dollars and send it to my sister. Will bank do it for me for freely? No, right? They'll ask me for some conversion charges and some other. They're providing me service, in return they're asking for some consideration. They're providing me service, right? That service also GST will be levied upon, right? Now see, next one more. See, securities now, we are excluding from either goods or services definition. But there are some platforms like Zerodha, Angel One, where they provide, where they facilitate some services. Like for using of this buying and selling of securities, they provide a platform. They're providing service again here, right? On that also GST will be levied. On buying and selling of securities, we are not going to charge GST. That will be STT. But what are we levying? that activities that they are facilitating, the platform is there now, that service that they are providing, for that we are charging GST. Are we clear here? Services, anything other than goods, money, securities, but includes activities related to use of money for separate consideration, conversion by cash or by any other mode from one form currency denomination to another form currency denomination, for which separate consideration is charged. Clear? See, we learned about goods, services. Now we have to learn about supply. Supply is the base for the GST, because GST is tax charged on supply of goods or services. Goods and services is there, but when the GST will be charged? When there is a supply of goods or services or both. Clear? Yes. Section 7 and section 8 majorly deals about supply. See, if you are going to learn this supply topic or chapter, you will be dealing with section 7 and section 8. See, have a glance here. Supply includes and excludes basically all these sections. Section 7.1a, this is where we learn basically about the definition. 7.1AA, association of its members. 7.1b, importation of services. And 7.1c, supply without consideration, where we deal with schedule 1. These all will be learning in today's session, and the next session we'll be learning about schedule 2 and schedule 3. Yes? Now let's head up to section 7. What is this? Now we are going to deal with section 7 subsection 1 clause A. Basically the definition of supply is given here. What is this? All forms of supply. What it includes? Sale. Suppose I'm selling some goods, you're purchasing it in the normal course. What it happens is sale. Then what about transfer? Transfer, what happens? Suppose there is some holding company and subsidiary company usually transfers inventory, about excess stock, any capital assets, normal, that is transfer. Next, barter. I give you biscuit, you give me chocolate. Where things are exchanged. Then what is exchange? Exchange means suppose I'm buying iPhone by exchanging my old phones. Normally you do that, right? In phones everywhere. And next, in license. License means normally this scientists or the software developers, whenever they develop app, some trademarks, intellectual property rights, they register. They get license of them, that is. Next, rental or lease. You know what is rental and lease. But the difference between two is, rental will be for shorter period of time, whereas lease, it will be for longer period of time. Yes. Now disposal. See, disposal will have, see, everything in this world will have some value. Even disposing any garbage or any useless item also, if we get some consideration for it, GST will be levied upon. That's why it is included in the supply. Okay. Next, in the course or furtherance of business. See, business now, normally we have this general notion what it is. Business means, see, if a person is doing business now, what do we consider? From morning to evening, throughout the year, he'll be earning money. He'll be selling goods and will be earning money. Is it? Suppose, see, I'm an artist. Throughout the year, I sit and do this painting and all. Only one painting throughout the year, and I'll sell that painting. That is my course, in the normal course of business only. I do only once. You can't tell that is not my business, right? Even if it is once or more than one time, it is considered as business. Next, for a consideration. What consideration? See, cash. See, consideration can be from cash. It can be in the form of kind, but consideration does not include subsidy or refundable deposits. What is this subsidy? Subsidy, now normally this government will be providing for electric vehicles. If we're going to purchase electric vehicles like 10,000, 20,000, they'll give subsidy. Already government is giving us subsidy. Why would it charge GST again opposite? So that is why the consideration is not including subsidy, so that no GST is levied upon. So the 10,000 or 20,000 we are not included in our revenue, and we are not going to pay tax upon it. Okay. Next, deposit. What is this? See, not only in this GST, in income tax, anywhere you go, when you are valuing any item or anything, if any deposit is refundable, we are not going to include that basically. We are going to exclude that. Clear? This is supply. A, B, C. All forms of supply, all those sale, transfer and all. In the course or furtherance of business, B. And for consideration, C. If any activity, if A, B, C conditions are done, then it is called as supply. Clear? Yes. Now there are two conditions that we are going to discuss here. First, donations. See, usually When you will donate, why you will donate basically? What do you get in return? Do we get anything in return? Just that satisfaction of donating some money. See, suppose there is one charitable institution. Suppose there is one person A. What he did? He donated 1 lakh. Is he getting anything in return? No, right? Obviously, there is nothing in return. There is no quid pro quo. There is consideration. Activity is there. It might be in the course of business, but is there any consideration? Is he getting anything in return? No. So this is not a supply. Suppose in other case, the same charitable institution, the person A, suppose he is this, he is A Limited. It's a company. What he is doing, what this company is doing, it is giving 1 lakh so that the charitable institution, whatever it is there now, it should promote his business. It should do publicity, like by putting that flexis, stating his company's name, business premises, brands, the goods that they are selling. In return, what he is getting? Publicity. He is giving 1 lakh. In return, he is getting publicity. A, activity is there. B, business is also there in the course of furtherance of business. And C, consideration is also there. So this will be called as supply. See, it's very clear. If donations now, if you're giving donations and you're not getting anything in return now, it is not a supply. But if you're getting something in return like publicity or marketing, then it's called supply. It is considered as supply. Clear? Next, this artwork. Suppose now what this artist will do now, they'll do paintings. They don't have shops like normally, they don't keep shops and sell. What they do, some exhibitions will be held in some areas. They'll send their artworks. If any persons like them, then they will purchase. If they don't like it, suppose if they like now, it is a supply. He will sell artwork and return he'll get something in cash. Yes, but if they don't sell, just for mere exhibition, that artwork is gone to exhibition and it came back normally. In that cases, there will be no supply. The same, sent by artist galleries for exhibition is not a supply, as no consideration. He did not receive any consideration. Leave that consideration, he got his artwork back only. So there will be no supply. Clear? Now let's head to this section 7, subsection 1, clause AA. What is it? Previously it wasn't there. Now recently they introduced this. See, what it is like, persons other than individual who are there, if they provide any services to its members by like activities, transactions for cash, deferred payment, valuable consideration to its members, those are considered as supply. How? See, suppose there is one big apartments. Okay, apartments are there. What they do? So I live in this apartment. There is some association for this apartment. What they do? They usually collect 3,000 every month maintenance charges from me. What they provide me in return? Maintenance services. See, there is an activity. Is it association? Business now. In the course or furtherance of business? Yes. Consideration? Yes. I'm giving them 3,000, they're giving me back maintenance services. Yes. Obviously, it's a supply. Previously, it wasn't recognized by our GST department. Now, they like previously what they did, association and members both are one. What are the services provided between them now? No GST. They're considered one, so why would GST be levied on them? But now what they did, they differentiated, like association is separate one entity and this apartment who are individuals, then they are separate. If they are giving money and in return they are getting services now, this is supply. Clear? Yes. Now, section 7, subsection 1, clause B, 7(1)(b). It is now, see, for any supply, what do? We have this ABC, that all forms of supply, next business, and next consideration. But what about this? In this now, A, B, C. C, importation of services, activity, whether or not whether the business can be there or cannot be there, but consideration should be there. Then also we'll be considering it as supply. How? Basically now, even though there is a business, whether it is in the course or furtherance, not in the course or furtherance of business, if importation of services is made and some separate consideration is charged, then we consider it as supply. Right? Okay. See, how, suppose, let's take example. I've become chartered accountant, right? I'm building some big house, duplex house. I'm building it. Okay, let's do somewhere else. Let's make something different. Yeah, I'm building my house, my dream house. I have one of my friend in US. He's into this US man. He's into this interior designing. He's a professional there. What I asked, give me services for my house. I'll pay you consideration. He's giving me interior designing services. What time? He's giving me back. And what I'm giving him? I'm giving him like 25 lakhs of rupees. Here activity is there, consideration is there. Am I into providing, building houses every time? Am I in the business of building houses? No, right? It's like for my personal, it's not in the course of furtherance of business. Even though it is not in the course of furtherance of business, it is imposition of services and consideration is levied, then it is also considered as supply as per 7(1)(b). Clear? Now let's take one more example. Suppose some A Limited is there in India, some US Limited, some US company the same. It wants software consultancy services. It is not available in India. What it does, it asks US Limited company, give me some consultancy services. What it does, this US will provide consultancy services. Okay. And what do I give in return? I give some 50 crores of amount for him. Here see, activity is there, consideration is there, business, A Limited is in business now. In the course of furtherance of business, it is giving consideration and it is availing importation of services. Here also it is considered as supply. Here even without business, it is considered supply. With business obviously it will be considered as supply. Clear? See, one more catch here is, what here is, see normally in GST what happens, suppose A and B is there. What A is doing, it is selling some goods to B. What B will do, A is selling goods now, B will give some, suppose 1 lakh of rupees. Along with this, he will also pay 18% GST, that is 18,000 rupees he will give. What A will do, see, B is buyer, A is supplier. This supplier will collect 1 lakh and 18,000 GST from buyer and will give it to GST department. Got it? So what it happens normally, supplier from buyer will collect his money as well as GST and we will deposit with the government. That's how it happens. That is called forward charge mechanism. But when it comes to in this importation of services now, here Indian man, A is Indian and US man. What is happening here? Or else let's go to our previous example. Yeah, let's go to our previous example where it is like C. Suppose here we have, see, A Limited is there, US Limited is there. I gave to 50 crore US, crore US Limited and 18% GST should be levied. Will US Limited will collect from A Limited and give to our GST department which is in India? No, right? GST is applicable only in India. What happens normally? A Limited will give 50 crore rupees to US Limited. But what happens is, whatever the tax it has to give now, this 18%, it will keep with it and will give directly to our GST department, which is called reverse charge mechanism. Basically what happens? Supplier will collect from buyer and will give to GST, right? But in reverse charge mechanism now, supplier himself gives his GST to income tax department. Clear? Yes. Now, this is, but see, there's a catch here, that is importation of only services, not goods. 7(1)(b) deals only with services, not goods. Okay? Now, yeah. Now, let's come to last topic today's, that is Schedule 1, 7(1)(c). What do we deal here? This now, activities, all forms of supply will be there. In the course or furtherance of business will be there, but consideration will not be there. Even without consideration, if supply is made in the course or furtherance of business, then also will consider it as supply. So whatever the activities are made in the course or furtherance of business without consideration, that will be considered as supply. First one, there are some four cases where we consider even without consideration, we consider that as supply. Okay, come. What is this? First, permanent transfer or disposal of assets. See, permanent transfer or disposal of assets. First, see, suppose A Limited is there. It is into manufacturing cloths. Take some shirts. What happened? It is into huge losses. So what it has to happen? It is going to shut down this year. End of the day, 31st March, what happened? It has like some 5 lakhs of goods are there. That sheds are there with A Limited. What it did? It donated to poor. That is for free consideration. It can't charge from poor, right? Free. It gave shirts, but it did not get anything in return. That is for free. That is no consideration. But A Limited is in business now. In the course or furtherance of business only it is. But there is a catch here. That is ITC. What happens if ITC is availed? What happens if ITC is not availed? First one, let's see. If ITC is availed, what do we do? See, ITC now, ITC topic will deal with in ITC chapter, very detailed manner. But here now, even if I say, that will be more clear in ITC chapter only. Just understand here is that ITC. Which persons will avail ITC? Who are in the course or furtherance of business? They will only avail ITC. They will avail input tax credit so that they can offset with output tax liability. Got it? Yes. ITC, what they do? If ITC is availed now, then it is considered as supply. If ITC, see, this clothes, when they purchase this, when they purchase raw materials for these clothes and shirts now, whatever the raw materials they purchase, if ITC is availed on that, when they are distributing or transferring to this pool now, then if ITC availed, that will be a supply. If when they are for the raw materials, they know that this 5 crores, whatever the stock is there now, that is gonna just lay down. That is gonna anyhow, it is not gonna be sale, it will be lying in the stock. They know it before already. So what they did? Anyhow it is gonna lie in stock. What is the use of availing input tax credit? Anyhow they're gonna shut down business. They won't be making again sales. What is the use of availing? They can't offset with output tax liability, right? So what they did? They did not avail this ITC. When they did not avail input tax credit, when they're transferring to poor now, there won't be any supply. That is what mentioned here. Even without consideration, if permanent transfer of business assets. See, business assets may include any stock, clothes, milk, capital assets, anything that can include in business assets. Now let's take one more example. Some S Limited is there. SS Limited is its subsidiary. S Limited is holding. What it is doing? It has capital assets, plant and machinery is there. It is of no use for it. What it did? It transferred to plant and machinery to SS Limited of worth 10 crore. Obviously, it's its subsidiary. Why do they charge? Again, here also no consideration. The same applies. If ITC is availed on this plant and machinery when they are purchasing, then it will be a supply. If ITC is not availed now, then it will not be a supply. Okay? Clear? Yes. Now let's discuss about this next point. Supply between related person or distinct person. What is this? Who are related persons basically? First one, officers or directors of one other business. Say your officer in one business and your same director in another business. Then they are related. Those businesses will be related. Next, legally recognized partner. If you are partners in some LLPs, partnership firms, legally recognized. So obviously, against one another, you will be related persons. Next, employer-employee. Obviously related. I'm getting salary. Suppose, take an example, I'm working in some MNC. He's giving me salary. Obviously, I'm related to him. Employer-employer also related. Next, a third person holding more than 25% voting share in both. Some suppose suppose C. There is one like A Limited is there. It is holding more than 25% in B Limited as well as in C. Even these two parties also will become related. Clear? Next, one controls the other. See, one controls the other, both control each other. Next, together controls third person. Now these B limited are together controlling A limited. See, B and C will control A limited. That's all. Next, members of same family. See, family definition in GST is somewhat different. What it is? Family includes spouse, children, parents, grandparents, and also brother and sisters. See, family, you are there, your wife or husband, spouse, and your children. This is like nuclear family now. Obviously, nuclear family members now, they're considered family. They don't care about whether what we say, you're dependent, wholly dependent or not. Your spouse, your children, or your family anytime. But when it comes to your parents or grandparents, brothers or sisters, if they are wholly dependent, then only they'll consider as your family. Clear? Your spouse, children, your family, no matter they're dependent or not. But your parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, if they're wholly dependent on you, then they're considered in your family. Right? Yes. Next, sole agent, distributor, concessionaire. If they're sole agent, say you have only one agent, obviously you both will be related. That's how it is. Let's go to these examples. Suppose, see, my father has some saree business. I like sarees, so saree business he has. What he does, whenever new stock arrives now, I go and take first one saree of me, whichever I like. Obviously, see, my father is there, I'm his daughter. For my father, I'm directly immediate, see, spouse and children, I'm his child. So obviously, I'm his family, no matter whether I'm dependent, wholly dependent or not. I'm his family. What he does, sarees. Suppose the saree is worth of some 30K. Okay, that saree is worth of 30K. What I do, the same concept of ITC applies here. If my father, when he purchased those sarees now, if he avail ITC, then it is a supply. But if we do not avail ITC now, then it is not a supply. Suppose he already knows, anyhow one saree I'll be taking. So he purchased some 100 sarees at first. He knows one saree I'll be taking. What he does, only 99 sarees he will avail ITC. And for left one saree he will not avail. No ITC, no supply. Okay. See, for GST now, don't consider, even for related persons also it is considered as supply and GST will be charged again. See, I'll give you a brief about it. See, suppose let's take this 30K only, my father and daughter example only. My father bought this now. This 30K first, my father is there. He brought for someone this saree. What he does, he'll pay 30K along with 18% GST. What this person, some A person is there here. What he does here, he will deposit this 18% tax, how much is there now? He will deposit with government, that is GST department. Clear? Yes. When basically what here happened, ITC is available. So my father has here 18%, suppose take this 1 lakh only. 18% of 18,000 of GST input tax credit my father has. When what happens, I go and take saree and come back to home. Basically it's called a supply because the related person is called a supply where ITC is availed. What happens, as per GST this is supply. Again this 1 lakh rupees saree whatever I took now, that is considered as supply. See, basically my father is selling to me, right, as per the GST whatever I am doing. Again what my father has to do, he has to collect 18,000 from me and deposit with the GST. What my father already has here, 18,000 ITC, which he already paid to the this A person. My father is a buyer, A is a supplier. My father buyer now, supplier A collected from my father and deposited 18,000 with GST department. Clear till there? Then when he is transferring that saree 1 lakh rupees to me, daughter, he has to pay GST. The same amount of 18,000 is his output tax liability. What happens? Output tax liability, this is liability. And how much my father already has? Input tax liability. Basically zero, it's nil effect. Even if between related parties or above permanent disposal or transfer, even if it is considered as supply and you are charged GST, you will not have any additional liability to pay. You need not pay any additional tax to the government. Whatever the input tax credit you have availed before now, that only you will pay to the government. That is only get offset, like same 18,000 minus 18,000 becomes 0. That's how it is. Okay, let's go for one more example. See, see here now, gifts are there. Suppose employee, there is one point here. What's now? If employers are given up to 50,000 any gift from employer now, no GST will be levied on it. It is not considered as supply even. But if more than 50,000 is given now, it is supply, and entire amount will be considered as supply. See here. Suppose I heard from somewhere, some top 5 employees in some recognized company, they got this BMW cars. BMW cars they got. Even I heard like in Pune, one jewelry shop, he offered gold chains to his employees. Gold is of much rate now 73,000, 74,000 it is there. I mean inclusive of this charging, making charges and all. Okay, and cutting charges, making charges, GST all together, it is nearly 60,000-70,000 is coming about. So what happens when you're, it is more than 50,000, whatever this 70,000, suppose the gold chain worth of gold 70,000, it is more than 50k. So this entire 70k is considered as supply between employer and employee. Obviously, as it is without consideration also, it is considered as supply. Employer has to pay GST to the government regarding it. Clear? This is the supply between related persons. Now it comes to distinct persons. What is distinct person? Section 25 of CGST Act 2017 deals with it. Suppose see, I'll give you with examples. What it is, see, suppose, yeah, I have one business here. Suppose you say, yeah, in Telangana is famous this Pochampalli sarees we have here. What it has? Pochampalli sarees. What it does? Suppose A Limited in Telangana, they have one store. They sell here Pochampalli sarees. The same A Limited what I have in Varanasi. Varanasi what they have, that is UP. What they have here, some what famous Banarasi sarees we have there. Banarasi sarees, like, see, all over India we know that only one pan will be there. But if GST, say you're selling in Telangana, you're selling in again Uttar Pradesh, what it happens? Government will not allow you to maintain under only one GST registration. So in respect to Telangana, you have to take one registration, and with respect to UP, you have to take one more registration. Same under same pan, you'll have 2 registrations. But same company A Limited here in Telangana, A Limited in UP. What happens? In respect of this 2 also, whenever you transfer this Pochampalli sarees to the Varanasi, Banarasi sarees from UP to Telangana also, even obviously you are transferring your A Limited, you won't charge profits between you only now. So without consideration, you will be transferring those assets, sarees and your stock, anything. That also will be considered as supply. Basically now, A Limited in Telangana, A Limited in UP will be considered as distinct persons. And supply between them, whatever the activities between them is considered as supply and GST levied upon that. Now take one more example. Suppose I have this steel products making manufacturing industry. I have one in some Chennai. I have in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. The same I have one more factory in Vellore. The same in Tamil Nadu. Okay, but what happens? I have whatever this selling and whatever he is there now, it's huge, it's very complicated. What I thought, I'll have one GST registration for this and one more GST registration for this. As GST registrations are separate, the supply between them, the supply between is between these 2 are considered as distinct persons, and the supply between them is also considered as supply, and activity between them is also considered as supply. Yes. Now let's come to the definition. A person who has obtained or required to obtain more than one registration, whether in one state, union territory, or in more than one state or union territory, in respect of each such registration, he'll be considered as distinct persons, and supply between distinct persons is considered as supply, and GST is levied on it. What are the stock transfers, branch transfers, whatever the activities that forms now, even without consideration, that will be formed part, and GST will be levied upon it. So basically, when we summarize it now, in first now, permanent transfer of disposal of business assets where ITC is availed, Then in respect of those, whatever the transfers that they place, even without consideration, as ITC is availed, it is in the course or furtherance of business, what it will be? It will be considered as supply. Next, whether whatever the activities, stock transfers, branch transfers, what are the stocks or businesses that are transferring between related persons or distinct persons, the activities that are also even without consideration, as it is in the furtherance, course or furtherance of business, that will be considered as supply. Clear? Yes. Now let's get to one more third para, that is supply of goods by a principal to agent. See, first two paras, mainly the main factor is ITC availed. If ITC is availed, if it is in the course or furtherance of business, it is supply. Now this supply of goods by a principal to agent. See, principal is there. He has to sell some goods. He don't have his clients. So what will do? He'll hire one agent where he will sit and give to supply to some persons. Right? What he does, he transfers goods to agent. Agent sells those goods to this clients or customers, whatever you say. Right? What happens is, here what the catch is, invoice and the name. If invoice is directly issued by principal to these customers now, in the name of principal, no GST, no supply, it is not considered as supply even. Because directly it is being transferred to in his name only. Now why supply will come? There is no concept of supply and it will not be charged and taxed under GST. Suppose if this principal is giving to agent and agent is issuing invoice in his name to the customers now, then it will be considered as supply. You understood? Yes. Now see, there is also one more topic of del credere agent. Who is normally the same principal agent customer concept only. But the catch here is whoever the agent is now, he's del credere agent. What he does, you know, suppose he'll provide guarantee on behalf of customers to the principal. Suppose principal, what he did, he sold 1 lakh to agent. Agent what he transferred. Again agent what he did, the same stock he sold to 1 lakh to customers. Clear? Now what did he do? Customers normally this between business credit period, usually 90 days will be the time. Within 90 days the customer has to make payment. Okay. Within customer, if suppose within 90 days if customer has not made payment now, del credere agent has to pay on behalf of the customer to the principal. He is making payment and in return he'll charge some interest. What he'll be charging? He'll be charging some interest from customers. So what will be the value of supply? Obviously we'll be discussing the value of supply chapter. But here now, this 1 lakh, suppose if the customers are making delay and they're making payment very lately, agent will be charging interest to that. 1 lakh plus interest, that will be the value of supply on which GST will be charged. Clear? Yes. Principal and agent, what it is, if the invoice is issued in the name of agent, supply. If it is issued in the name of principal only, no supply. Because if it is issued in the name of, if the invoice is issued in the name of agent now, basically principal is transferring goods to, like it's like transferring or supplying goods to agent. Consideration, like he's transferring, again money will be transferred. Again from agent to customers, like there will be 2 transfers, 2 supplies, even without consideration is being made. Clear? See, activity is there, transferring of goods in the course or furtherance of business only, but consideration is missing. As this 7(1) stresses, even without consideration, we will be considering it as supply. In these 4 cases, it is a supply. Okay. Next, importation of services. We already discussed in 7(1)(b), importation of services. See here, importation of services from related person or from his establishment outside India in the course or furtherance of business. See, here now consideration is obviously missing. There is no consideration. What he do? Importation of services from related person. You know, suppose see, my sister, I told you now my sister is in US. What it will be? She is some, let's say, software agent, software consultant something. She is providing me services. She is providing services to my firm. She is my related person and she is providing in the course or furtherance of business. Obviously she's my sister, I'm not going to she's not going to take any consideration from me. I'm importing services from my related person in the course of importation of services from my related person in the course of furtherance of business. So it is considered as supply as per 71C. Next, from his establishment outside India. See here now, S Limited is there. It has its subsidiary outside India. Suppose S Limited is there. It has its outside SINC is there. What is it? It is providing some services to me. What? Some consultant services. It is my subsidiary only outside India. Why would it take consideration? No consideration. Okay, but in the course of furtherance of business, what I am importing? Services, business, A is there, B is there, but C is not there. As it is covered under 71C, it can be called as supply. Clear? Yes. Now let's see, one more we are going to do. See, I'll give you a summary of 71B and 71C. What we are doing basically in both? Importation of services. Okay? If with consideration means what? Without consideration is what? With consideration. Without consideration. See, say under which consideration and without consideration with section 71B. Here 71C. With the consideration, if it is made now, importation of services, we don't care from whom, we don't care from my related party or from any establishment of my establishment outside India. I don't care. I just need, it should be importation of services with consideration. Supply. Direct supply. But if it is without consideration now, I need to check whether it is from related person or my own establishment outside India or from any other persons. If it is from my related person now, even no consideration, it is in the course or furtherance of business, supply. If it is my own establishment in the course or furtherance of business, supply. But if from any other person with no consideration, not a supply. Clear? Same. Basically in 71B, 71C, what we do? Importation of services. It will be from with consideration, it is a supply, no matter from whom. But without consideration, if we do, if it is from related person or from own establishment outside India, in the course or furtherance of business is there, then supply. If not, any other reason, any other person, no supply. Are we clear on that? See, some clarifications are given in ICAI, that is free sample and gifts. Here also the ITC concept will be used. What it is? Normally, you know, these medical people and others now, they give this free samples to all persons. Free now, without consideration. Is it supply? Same concept of permanent transfer or disposal, because basically they are transporting and disposing only now. If ITC is availed, supply. If on these samples, whatever the samples is there now, if ITC is not availed, no supply. Clear? Yes. Next, buy one get one offer. Basically, if you buy one, you will get free one. Suppose suppose some pen is there, but you are buying it for 10 rupees. You are getting one more pen for it. Yes, now for 10 rupees only you are getting both pens. So basically, what is the cost of pen? 5 rupees each. That is how we consider. Like for one pen, for one cost only, you are getting 2 pens. So those 2 pens are charged for that 10 rupees. Basically 50-50%. That's how we consider. That's how the clarification is given here. Yeah, next schedule 2, schedule 3 will be covered in next sessions. Thank you guys.